gaveat lector. Originally interpreted into the common tongue by High Pontiff Daniel I and Fabian the Lesser, this text is intended for the instructional and devotional use of laymen. Because the common tongue lacks certain nuances of the original language, it is not fit for ecclesiastical use. History. The scroll of the Auspice was the last of the 4 holy scrolls delivered to the 4 exalted. It was received by Exalted Sigismund as he gazed into the face of God in a trance. It predicts the end of times. Vision of portent. Bear witness to this prophecy of Sigismund, of the line of Joran, revealed in his last days as he gazed into the face of God. Attend, brothers, and record my revelation. Behold, and the shadow of God is cast thrice upon the land, and thrice the light of instruction is obscured, and men tread the sea in its wake. Now Iblis is rising from the void, and his chains are augmented, and they are become 2 worms, one beautiful, and one terrible. The world is given over to them. The first worm is Vargengotz, and he goes forth to conquer and to rule. His 6 heads bear 6 crowns, which are the great kingdoms of the world, and he lets no evil be spoken of him. His body is black iron, and his wings are dark smoke. The banners of the world are struck down before him, and the sky and mountains are his conquests. And Vargengotz calls forth 3 deceivers in the guise of messengers, with wings of cold fire. They are called Justice, Glory, and Reward. Before the priests, the first exalts wrath. Before the kings, the second exalts pride. And before the merchants, the last exalts avarice. So, the world is the possession of cruel men. But there are yet faithful. They are assailed by a multitude of perversions, and there are men of ice, and shadow, and fanged men, and yet others with skin of ash and eyes of flame. And they live among the sons of the first man and woman, and they are lifted up with acclamation, for the servants of Iblis proclaim them as saints and rulers. The second worm is called Ishtar, and she goes forth to destroy and to pollute. Her mouth is full of plagues, and the waters of the world are corrupted before her. Her body is cold flesh, and her maw is empty darkness. The sanctuaries of the world are struck down before her, and the seas and forests are her conquests. And Ishtar calls forth 3 deceivers in the guise of servants, and their wings are of obscuring smoke. They are called Famine, and Toil, and Defeat. And before the commoners, the first condemns temperance, and gluttony is exalted. And the second condemns diligence, and sloth is exalted. And the last condemns faith, and doubt is exalted. So the world is a pit of suffering. But there are yet faithful, and they are assailed by 24 false prophets. In their hands 24 falsehoods, bearing the mark of sin. And their lies are lifted up in worship, for the servants of Iblis proclaim them truth. So there is come a final deceiver in the guise of God, and he is Iblis. His chains are augmented. The men who tread upon the sea are poured into the void, and the world is dark. Now Reward treads the world upon a steed of dust, and he is uncovered, and goes forth to despoil. And the trees that bear fruit are hewn away, and the incense is burned to Iblis, and there is left no field, and men starve. Now glory treads the world upon a steed of smoke, and he is uncovered, and goes forth to subjugate. And the village gives way to the citadel, and the nations are destroyed, and men are ungoverned. Last, justice treads the world upon a steed of soot, and he is uncovered, and goes forth to spill blood. And the citadel gives way to the battlefield, and there is left no refuge, and men are slain. So finally Iblis's guise is uncovered, and his chains tear at the ground. His servants lift him up in fear and acclamation, and the virtuous are struck down. The world and the void are his conquests. The world is changed, and there is a period of sin. Vision of strife. Bear witness to this prophecy of Sigismund, of the line of Joran, revealed in his last days, as he gazed into the face of God. Attend, brothers, and record my revelation. Behold, the world is dark and silent for 3 nights, and the moon is bathed in blood. But there rings forth from the horizon a clarion, and the sun dawns. So Iblis is unshackled, and suffers before its light. Lo! The virtuous dead are descending, and at their fore are the sons of spirit, and the sons of the first man and woman. And leading them is Horin renewed, and he ordains the estates of their armies. So Horin calls forth Sigismund and Erguan, and he speaks unto them. Lo, in your days you were each tempted with envy, and the world suffered. For Erguan, you have desired the wealth of your brothers, and Sigismund, their power. And by God's will I redeem you of your failures, and send you to work peace upon it. And they go out, and Erguan is lieutenant to Sigismund, and they strike out against Ishtar. And Horin calls forth Godfrey and Malin, and speaks unto them. Lo, in your days you were each tempted with pride, and the world suffered. For Malin, you ruled beyond your days, and Godfrey beyond your virtue. And by God's will I redeem you of your failures, and send you to work peace upon it. And they go out, and Malin is lieutenant to Godfrey, and they strike out against Vargengats. And finally, Horin calls forth Owen and Krug, and the virtuous await the latter's punishment. But he speaks to them. Lo, in your days you were each tempted with wrath, and the world suffered. For Krug, you slew your own brother, and Owen your uncle. And by God's will I redeem you of your failures, and send you to work peace upon it. And they go out, and Krug is lieutenant to Owen, and they strike out against Iblis. So the faithful see the mercy of Horin, which is God's mercy. And Horin is given charge over the lost kingdom of Idunia, and the orphaned children of Heron are restored. Thus arrayed are the forces of God. First, Sigismund goes forth ministering, and among his host are the tribes of Edel and Ren, and at their side the sons of Erguan, and they are redeemed in ministry, for Sigismund wields a globe bearing the mark of heaven, which is God's domain. Their enemy is Ishtar, the defiler, who pollutes a great glacier, which are the frozen waters of Gamesh, and in her army are Ishtar's slaves, the debauchers and the empty-hearted, and her false servants, famine, toil, and defeat. And Sigismund's host meets them in battle upon the ice. Thus Sigismund raises aloft the mark of heaven, and lo! The waters of prophecy are purifying, and they spill forth to purify. Ishtar and her servants are consumed. Now Godfrey goes forth ruling, and in his host are the tribes of Aun and Shona, and at their side the sons of Malin, and they are redeemed in the faith. For the scepter of rebuke guides them. Their enemy is Vargengotz the destroyer, who rules from his capital, which was the holiest city. And in his army are Vargengotz's slaves, the tyrants and the treacherous, and his false servants, justice, glory, and reward. And Godfrey's host meets them in battle upon the mountain. Thus Godfrey raises the scepter of rebuke, and lo! The command of God is justice, and the unjust are punished. Vargengotz and his servants are destroyed. And last, Owen goes forth purifying. In his host are the tribes of Olgard and Ehe, and at their side the sons of Krug. And they are redeemed in virtue, for the sword of flame guides them. Their enemy is Iblis, who cowers in the void. And in his army are Iblis' slaves, the Saulicians and the apostates, consorters with Iblis, witches, and all those who serve him. They are the iniquitous dead, who hate God. And though they are many, the strength of God does not serve the wicked. Thus Owen raises the sword of flame, and lo! The light of God is redeeming, and the wicked reject it. Iblis and his servants are destroyed forever. The world is become paradise. Vision of Paradise. Bear witness to this prophecy of Sigismund, of the line of Joran, revealed in his last days as he gazed into the face of God. Attend, brothers, and record my revelation. See, and the stars are in the heavens again, and the hosts of angels and daemons serve the sons of the first man and woman. And the powers of the void are cowed, and made to serve them as well. See, and there is a bridge of many colors, and marching forth from the skies are the virtuous dead, and the wicked have been cast down from high places. See, the world is changed, and the promise of virtue is fulfilled. So the horn of God pours out upon the world, and it is inundated in the waters of Gamesh. And lo! I see the face of God, and from his mouth are falling tomes of prophecy. They are washed out upon the world, and the virtuous are perfected before him. And now the waters of Gamesh spill even into the void, so the ash of sin is mingled with them, and the world is born again. And no place is forbidden to those perfected in the eyes of God, for the wicked are vanquished forever. Now the final command of God, which is the perfection of the world. Thus the virtuous of other tribes are marching down from heaven, and the skies are given over to the sons of Horin. Thus the good sons of Krug are given the void, and it is made to serve them, and they hone their strength eternally. Thus the good sons of Erguon are given the deep places of the earth, and they hold the treasures of the world. And last the good sons of Malin are given the world, and it is a sanctuary forever. So each is given a law unto their kind, and the world is perfected. This is the promise of God to the world, that it shall belong to the virtuous who love him.